So unfortunately, we have a lot of questions. We only have like 2 minutes worth of time left. What we'll do is I'll put the questions that weren't answered, we'll put them on the website, and then if any of the panelists want to take a shot at answering them, that'd be great, and you'll all have them available. But Ron, since you flew out the furthest, we get the last questions here. So what is the affordability level of Teachers Village, and how are you, what does that say, handicapped? No, what is that? Handling teacher preferences in light of the fair housing laws. Okay.
So I'm glad that we're leaving off on that, because I'm not sure what the local fair housing laws are. You do have to do an analysis from state to state, and actually municipality to municipality. So you need to do the analysis before you build it. From the federal standpoint, it's not a fair housing issue to prefer teachers. An occupation is not a protected class under federal fair housing rules. Similarly, in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut so far, where we've gotten local ordinances, New Jersey and Connecticut, they follow the federal fair housing rules, no opinion, getting your legal opinions and coming up and developing a marketing plan, but developing a marketing plan that prefers teachers, not an issue. In New York City, there was an overlay that sounds like you might have something here locally on that regard, that there was an overlay on occupation, but that we were able to get the opinion that because we were broad enough, in other words, it wasn't just teachers, it was all kinds of academic staff around the schools, and because it wasn't a specific school, that there wasn't issues even within the New York City sort of fair housing overlay. So you do have to look at this from district to district, and you do have to get the opinions, but you can draft marketing plans that do prefer teachers. I'm not sure what it is here, we have to do an in-depth look at that. And so in terms of the affordability, the general matrix that we do from when we go from municipality to municipality, it's 20% affordable, which is generally defined as lower than 50 or 60% of AMI. We have 30% workforce housing, which will generally be somewhere between the 60 and 100% AMI. And then 50% market rate, but even within the market rate, when we look at 100% of our units, we're looking at the average teacher salaries, and we go to the low end and then the high end. And then we make sure that we have at least 70% units that are affordable, lowercase a, affordable to teachers in the municipality and the district. So even within our market rate apartments, we have units that are sort of efficient, that are sized, that the teachers on the upper end of the market can make it work. And I just want, since I did come here the farthest, I do want to leave off, there isn't one solution. You're right. I think housing is one solution. I think that if there's the political will, there's multiple levels to the solution. So for example, the bus yard probably is a good idea to sell it if there's high market value to it. Take that money and create vouchers, great idea. I think that from that standpoint also, I would, if it's city-owned land or county-owned land, that there should be some sort of covenant that whoever is buying it has to provide a certain amount of units for teacher housing as well, so you get the best of both worlds. So this does come down to policy. I think it comes down to when you do have 5 or 6 million, 150, 250 million that you guys have, the public-private partnerships are huge here. You have to leverage those dollars to the max. There are social impact investors. There are, and that's a narrow way to get. There's other federal programs that you want to bring to the table. There's state programs that you want to bring to the table. The districts can contribute land, but can also, listen, when you're talking about recruitment and retaining teachers, it is expensive. It's expensive to retain and recruit teachers. It's expensive to have empty seats where they're not filling with teachers, and it's costly to our education. The quality of the education can't be lost here. When you have teachers turning over, like Daphne talked about, where the teachers are turning over, the young teachers are not staying for more than a few years, that discontinuity is impactful. Not only, it really hurts education, which hurts housing values, which hurts all those big corporate operators and presents, and sort of office users in this community. And so, with the little contributions that you can get from foundations, from the districts, from the counties, from these bond offerings, it's really imperative that you do take some action. You get someone to spearhead the development, get the political will. I'm not afraid to say that I'm not sort of championing for myself, but there has to be a developer driving the ship. There has to be, because that's the way you get everyone sort of joining on. Where there's got to be a piece of land that everyone's focused on. There's got to be a developer driving the ship, and that's where the municipality weighs in, puts in restrictions, puts in what they want to see, and you start working around a pro forma to get this thing solved. And the only way to do it is to really get it moving down the road and get it going. And again, I don't think there's one solution here. I think I think it is higher salaries for teachers. I think it is vouchers, and I think it's quality communities for teachers.
Ron, that's a great way to end it. And thank you, panelists, very much. I have one more thing to say here. Two more things. The next WNAC meeting, we'll be looking at some of those lands that aren't necessarily utilized to their maximum. Freeway rights, air rights over freeways. We've been studying that a lot. There's a new book coming out on it. You'll want to see that. But more immediately, at next Tuesday's Board of Supervisors meeting on June 5th, Supervisor Chavez is expected to propose a path to operationalizing the partnership between the county and community college districts for affordable housing on district-owned land. So this is kind of a scoop that we're reading this. And it looks like this item will be heard between 10 and 11 a.m. at the county building at 70 West Henry Street. And we hope you will consider supporting this great effort. You can also write to the supervisors as well, and you can find that on the website. So thank you everyone for attending, for sticking it out here to the end. Panelists, thank you very much.
Yeah, just two last housekeeping things. On our website, thewinchesternac.com, is where we'll post the on-demand version of this. We were going to live stream it on Facebook. I said we had ran a little technical challenge, but we will have that posted. The questions that you submitted, we are going to capture those. We'll post them on the same site, and we'll try and get them answered by our experts. But I just want to also just recognize the talent and the expertise we have on the stage right now. And it's really, really incredible. From developers to community to public servants to across the board to social good. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. And thank you all, audience. Thank you so much.